They say the legend lives on, and in a way it does. Despite the dark days of the demise of the British bike industry, the name Triumph has certainly lost none of its magic over the years, but some things have certainly moved on. The manufacture of Triumphs has changed beyond recognition. Gone are the old days of worn-out machinery producing, well, let's face it, poor quality components, and in comes state-of-the-art equipment from all corners of the globe. Germany, Japan, and of course the UK provide the most up-to-date machinery you can get to ensure that today's Triumph can compete with the world's very best. Quality is a watchword at Triumph, and everything is done to ensure that this is maintained. Triumph only build against orders, which means they don't mass produce and fill warehouses. So each bike starts life with a build card that stays with it through each stage of manufacture. This also means that the production line can be utilised for one-off orders. Then, like starting along an aisle in a supermarket, components are picked off the shelf along the slowly moving line, except these don't go into a trolley, they make a motorbike. The power unit is first, and once built, each and every engine and gearbox is put through a cold test. In effect, the engine and transmission are driven at idle speed by a motor, while oil pressure and compression pressure are measured to make sure that everything is okay before bolting in the frame. Talking of frames, like other components, the Superlight T595 frames are neatly stacked in batches ready for the freshly run engines. Like a giant Meccano kit, bits are added as the bike progresses, gaining its Superlight Brembo wheels along the way. Last to go on are the tanks and seats, and once ready, completed bikes are wheeled over to the functional test bay, where engines and gearbox are filled with oil and the engines fired up. It's here that the exhaust gases are analysed and minor adjustments made before putting the whole bike through its paces on the rolling road. All wired up, the bike is taken through the gears, brakes checked and responses measured. All being well, the bike then gets a final inspection before going off to dispatch for crating up. So how's this for your motorcycling supermarket? T595 stacked, not quite floor to ceiling, but they're all there, all looking pristine, all ready for the UK market. And some lucky blighter's going to get one of these. Or perhaps someone's bought them all, you never know. And over here, we've got loads of little boxes all ready to go abroad. We've got Switzerland at the end, then you come along Canada, California, Switzerland again, Japan. And on the top row, we've even got them going off to Spain and Greece. They're going everywhere. So this isn't just a British success story, this will be a worldwide success story. Well, we've done the factory visit, had a good look round the way everything is made and pulled together. And I have with me the man who sells Triumph. I don't think he has to try very hard these days, but Bruno Tagliaferri, the UK Sales and Marketing Manager. Bruno, I've been out on the 595 and I've just got to be honest with you, it is an absolutely fabulous machine, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who said that to you, am I?
No, I mean the praise has been good, and we've now had the first batch of deliveries in the UK, and feedback from both dealers and customers has been very positive to the bike.
And those cynical journalists as well, I mean, they've been heaping praise on it as well. I thought a few of them might be saying, oh, it's not quite as good, but they haven't, have they? They all think it's good.
No, they've been very complimentary generally about the bike, and I think it's pleasantly surprised them on how well it rides and the performance, and of course the styling they liked anyway. But I think once they've ridden it, I think they realise that we've made a very good attempt at it. There's several groups of customers. There's quite a few existing Triumph owners who really are already converted to buying something that we've built here at Hinckley. Then you've had quite a few people put deposits down because they appreciated there was a waiting list. Now some of those have obviously done that, subject to test riding it. But now that every UK dealer has got a demonstrator, you're starting to get a third batch, that the man who will not make a decision until he has ridden it.
Yeah.
So luckily that's given us a third batch of confirmed sales. So it's gone quite well in those 2-3 months since the bike show.
When we were in the packing department or your exporting department, impressive again seeing all the crates there going all over the world. Your export markets seem to have grown rapidly to me. I mean, are you expanding into new markets, especially in the Far East? I didn't think you particularly went to all the countries that are there. I knew Japan was an early one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Japan was early on in the calendar. We're in most of the markets now. I think we've got 34 markets. There are 1 or 2 other small markets in the Far East, but I think we can now start to grow the business we've got, particularly in Europe, America, Australia and New Zealand and Japan.
So with the famous Triumph name, there must be a bit of nostalgia and a heritage link up. Are you finding this a lot?
I think those 2 ingredients are vital on some of their machines, like the Thunderbird and Trident. I think the styling has to take certain cues from the 60s. But I think in the other markets, and as we've proved with the T595, The bike has to be razor sharp. It has to have very sporting styling. It has to be very light. It has to perform. It has to brake. It has to have all the attributes of a serious sports bike.
What's a typical? Is there a typical figure for a production run in a day? How many bikes do you produce?
Currently, on a good day, we'll make 80 machines in a day if we've had all their supplies through. So that gives us a figure of between 350 and 400 a week. Mm-hmm. We're about 12 to 13,000 units a year at the moment.
Yeah, which is pretty good. And how many people do you employ in total? I mean, you've got the production area, and then you've got different subcategories.
In total, including design, administration, production and engineering, it's just under 450 people.
I must say the atmosphere was very good out there. The guys were joking with us as we were going around. It seems a nice, this family atmosphere thing. Yes. Is that something you've tried to encourage?
It is. It's been a philosophy of the company. We put a lot of emphasis in recruitment. Two of the key features on recruitment are good attitude and finding good team players who can work together in good and bad times.
Oh, right. Well, it certainly seems happy enough, and the product shows it at the end of the day. So, I mean, this is an intriguing thing. How are you going to top the T595? I don't really expect you to tell me, but you might give me a clue. What have you got up your sleeve? What have Triumph got up the sleeve?
Well, I think as our competitors have shown, you have to just keep improving the models you've got. And if you're to be successful, you have to keep identifying markets that should be moving into, and we're doing that the whole time.
And that's as much as you're going to say.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
For the moment.
All right, Bruno, thanks very much.
Thank you.